Sustainable economy. An economic system that meets the needs of its current members without compromising the prospects of future generations. A troubling picture is emerging of the impact of the human footprint on the Earth's living systems. Right now, with every step we take, we are destroying the world. The rubber in the soles of our shoes contains neurotoxins and carcinogens that are left behind in tiny amounts. But even a small harmful act, when repeated on a global scale, can become a tragedy.
If you see a tragedy and you don't do anything about it, and your designer signaling your intentions, then you might as well have intended for the tragedy to occur. Because if you say, it's not part of my plan, then it's part of your de facto plan. It's the thing that's happening because you have no plan. And once you realize that you're strategically tragic, you realize that it's time to have a strategy of change.
These architects, product designers, and corporate executives are looking for a way out of the environmental dilemmas facing their industries. They have come to a workshop led by chemist Michael Braungart and architect Bill McDonough, two pioneers in the movement to redesign the world.
I like to think that design is the first signal of human intention, and I think we're all here because we have intentions. And I'd like to look at what they are and look at how I found myself in this position to work with Michael and to help develop this new what's being called a paradigm. I think from a personal perspective, when my mother called me after the magazine article in Time magazine came out, and it said we had developed a unified theory that in demonstrable and practical ways was changing the design of the world. And she called up and said, "What have you been doing?" And I've been working with Michael and a whole bunch of other people. That's what I've been doing.
Their clients include major corporations with over $500 billion in annual sales, companies like Herman Miller Furniture, Nike, Design Tex, and the Ford Motor Company, where they have been commissioned to help lead the company's transformation to sustainability. Humankind is facing a deadline. Can we change our industrial world? Can we move fast enough to avoid catastrophe? Will our creativity be equal to the task? This is the story of a revolution. How Bill McDonough and Michael Braungart and the people and companies they work with are building the sustainable economy.
If we look at Peter Senge at the Sloan School of Management, where he asked leaders who is the leader on a ship crossing the ocean, the answers he gets, as you can imagine, are captain and navigator and helmsman and so on. But his response is, no, it's the designer of the ship, because you could be the best captain in the world, but if the ship isn't designed to be seaworthy and you find yourself in a storm, you're going down. Then designers must become leaders, and leaders must become designers.
So what's the material choice in the project?
Bill McDonough is a professor and former dean of the School of Architecture at the University of Virginia in Charlottesville. To engage his students in the leadership of design, he asks them to consider our modern industrial world as a retroactive design assignment.
Imagine the first industrial revolution as a design assignment. I'd be asking you to create a system that puts billions of pounds of highly hazardous toxic material into your soil, air, and water. It measures prosperity by how much natural capital you can cut down, dig up, bury, burn, or otherwise destroy. It measures progress by your number of smokestacks, and if you're especially proud, put your names on them. It measures productivity by how few people are working. It requires thousands of complex regulations to keep you from killing each other too quickly. It destroys biological and cultural diversity at every turn. And while you're at it, do a few things that are so highly toxic, like nuclear isotopes, that require thousands of generations to maintain constant vigilance while living in terror. Can you do this for me? You don't even know what it is.
Like all architects and designers since the Industrial Revolution, Bill McDonough worked for the most part in alienation from the natural world. The operative design principle was, if brute force isn't working, you aren't using enough of it. Confronted by the flawed design of modern industrial civilization, Bill McDonough realized that a revolutionary new direction was needed. He took his inspiration from the revolutionary he lived with every day, Thomas Jefferson, the founder of the University of Virginia.
Clearly he saw himself as the designer. All you need to do is go to his home, which he designed, Monticello, solar-powered home. It's quite astonishing. It's also interesting to go look at his tombstone. He designed it, and on it, he only recorded the things he designed. Thomas Jefferson, author of the Declaration of American Independence, Statute of Virginia for Religious Freedom, and father of the University of Virginia. It only records his legacies, not his activities. There's absolutely no mention of having been president of the United States. He's recording the things that he designed and left behind for future generations.
What would the design assignment for a sustainable economy look like? For answers, Bill McDonough turned to nature's operating system,